What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Aggro Drift. So this movie comes to us from Harmony Korine, and if you all frequent the channel, you know that I've covered quite a few Harmony Korine movies, and I'm a pretty darn big fan of him. So this movie initially came out in 2023, and I heard about this movie right when it came out, and I was instantly obsessed. Like, I was like, there's a new Harmony Korine movie. I'm so excited. I have to check it out. And it just seemed interesting, like with the whole this movie, for people who don't know, it's shot entirely on infrared cameras, so it has this insane colorful look to it, and then there's all this like AI imagery used in the movie, and then Travis Scott is in the movie, and it's an action film, which Harmony Korine has never really done an action film. So yeah, I was so interested in seeing this, and I was like following it for a year, and I was waiting for it to get a wider release, and I was kind of optimistic that it would get a wider release, but with some Harmony Korine movies, I mean, you can't find them. Like, you're gonna have to buy some DVD from some other country. It's just, you can't, like, his movies are, you can't rent them. Some of his movies you can't rent them anywhere. You can't stream them anywhere. Like, you're gonna have to pay like $50 for a movie, like for a DVD from Japan. So I was waiting for this to get a wider release, and then the other day I was scrolling through Google, and I found out that he released it on his new website for his new company, Edgelord, which is like an entertainment company, and you could just purchase it on his website. So it was a little expensive. It was like $15.99, but I literally, right when I found out that you could buy it, I bought it 2 minutes after. Like, it was like the morning before work. It was like 7 a.m. in the morning, and then I was like scrolling through my phone, and I was like, Aggro Drift is available on Edgelord, and you can buy it, and I instantly bought it. So today I had the day off, and I thought, what the heck? Let me watch this thing and drop a review. So yeah, I'm pretty fresh off watching it. I watched it like pretty much like 40 minutes ago. So very fresh off watching it, and my overall thoughts are, I thought it was okay. This movie, it's kind of like, if people are familiar with Harmony Korine's movies, this movie's kind of similar to Trash Humpers, where it really has like no story. So most of Harmony Korine's movies do not have a lot of story, or they don't follow like a traditional narrative structure. But stuff like Trash Humpers really has barely any story at all, and it's just kind of like a collection of random scenes and events. That's how this is. But yeah, like, there even like, the fact that there was no story, like, that's kind of that kind of is the reason I didn't think it was like great, or I didn't love it. But I thought it was okay, and there was some cool stuff going on, and I'm glad that I got to watch it. And it was definitely unique. But yeah, like, the fact that it was kind of like Trash Humpers, where there was like no story at all, that's what that's why I just thought it was okay. Like I didn't love it, or I didn't think it was great. But yeah, it was definitely okay. Definitely some cool stuff going on. But even though I said there was like no story, there's kind of a little story. So I'll give you the plot summary. So there's this assassin. His name is Bo, and he thinks he's like the world's greatest assassin, and he tries to balance being an assassin, but then he has like a family, and he just does it kind of to provide uh, for his family, and that's his way of making money. And I think like all the people that he kills, he believes they're truly evil, so he thinks like he's morally justified and he's doing the right thing. But anyways, there's this demonic crime lord that we see throughout the movie. He's this big, buff, burly dude who has these like AI black angel wings, and basically Bo throughout the whole movie is just trying to kill this demonic crime lord and like rid the world of his evil presence. So that is um, the basic plot summary. And jumping into some I'm gonna jump into some negatives, then I'm gonna jump into some positives. So like I said, a big negative for me is that there's no story, and I just gave a plot recap, so there's like a little bit of story, but there's really like there's like very little story. So that was a big negative for me, and the fact that there was not a lot of story made the movie boring at a lot of times and bland at a lot of times. So there were certain parts where I just totally checked out. And then another thing that I disliked was a lot of the dialogue. Like, okay, so Harmony Korine, he basically like freestyled this movie. I don't think there was like a script or anything. Like I was watching interviews when this initially came out, and he was at film festivals, and he talked about the fact that he just pretty much freestyled this movie, which that seems like fun for him. Like he just got to be in this flow state, this creative flow state, and make the movie. It was probably very fun for him, and he didn't have to like do too much planning. He could just like be in the moment, which is cool. But like as a viewer, that kind of harmed the movie. The fact that he just freestyled, because like I said, there's not a lot of story, and then the dialogue is so repetitive. People are just repeating stuff, and a lot of the dialogue too is just like nonsense. And yeah, so the fact that there's not a lot of story, you have some nonsensical dialogue and a lot of repetitive dialogue. Like the repetitive nonsensical dialogue is annoying, and the fact that there's not a lot of story just makes a lot of the movie bland and boring. So those are all my negatives. Getting into some positives. I mean, the concept for this movie has never been done before. This is an extremely unique experimental movie. Like there's never really been a feature-length movie that's shot entirely in infrared that implements like AI imagery. So visually it's beautiful. It's a beautiful movie. It's super, visually captivating. It's fantastic to look at. It's like visually striking. It's great. And yeah, the concept, like this has never been done before. So I think Harmony Korine is definitely, even though I'm a fan of him, I don't love all of his movies. He's definitely an innovative guy. He's willing to take risks and try new things, and this is, I feel like a movie like this has never been done before, so that was cool. I thought the setting was great. This is set in Florida. I love Florida. I used to always vacation there as a kid. His last couple movies were also set in Florida. I just love the palm trees. You got like the main character Bo, you know, driving around in this Corvette. He's out in the ocean, you know, riding around in a boat. You got beautiful ocean. You got all these Florida mansions, palm trees. The setting is phenomenal. I liked that Travis Scott made a cameo. His little cameo was great. I actually liked the exchange between him and the character Bo. Like their dialogue was kind of nonsensical, but it was kind of funny too. And then Travis Scott was kind of saying his Travis Scott's character Zion, who was like Bo's protege basically. He would kind of say some like little profound stuff in there. Like he was talking about friends and enemies and like how they're similar and different. And yeah, seeing Travis Scott in this, he don't expect Travis Scott to be in this a lot. He's probably in it for like, I don't know, 5 or 7 minutes, but all of the stuff surrounding Travis Scott was awesome. I thought the villain in this, like the demonic crime lord guy, he was kind of funny. He would just randomly be like humping the air, and his dialogue was funny. He just like always had, you know, exotic dancers around him, and he would just say funny stuff. So I liked the villain. I thought he was funny. And then the last 20 minutes of this movie, like for most of the movie, nothing really happened. But the last 20 minutes of the movie, where like Bo has a showdown with the main villain, that was fantastic. And he's trying to like the main villain is posted up at this big Florida mansion, and Bo, you know, he's an assassin. He's trying to like stealthily infiltrate the mansion and take out this demonic crime lord. That sequence was like, it was tense, and it was action packed, and it reminded me a lot of Spring Breakers, when, you know, the main characters go to infiltrate Gucci Mane's character's mansion. So very reminiscent of Spring Breakers, which I like. And then once they actually confront each other, like Bo and the crime lord, the fight is awesome. Like there's all these crazy visual effects, all this crazy AI stuff, and it looks like a fight sequence in like a fighting video game. Like there's all this, I don't know, crazy imagery going on when they're fighting, and you know, Harmony Korine, like he got a lot of his inspiration for this movie from video games. Like he's a super big video game fan. He loves like Grand Theft Auto, so that's kind of what inspired him to make the movie, was just his love of video games. And I'm telling you, the last final showdown, it feels like a fight from because they like knife fight each other. Like, well, the one guy, the villain, has like a samurai sword, and the assassin Bo just whips out a knife. But yeah, it's like from like a, I don't know, like a Soul Calibur game is what it feels like. It feels like a sword fight from a Soul Calibur game. That's the best way I could describe it. But also it feels like a boss battle, like, you know, like a final boss battle in a video game, and it's epic, and it's like rewarding. It's fantastic. So the final showdown, the final fight is great. The last 20 minutes of this movie are great, and like, even though most of the movie is kind of boring, like the last 20 minutes kind of redeemed it for me. So that's why, you know, I still thought this movie, even though a lot of it was boring, I thought it was okay overall, and you know, a decent little watch. So yeah, and then my last point is, you know, I would love to see Harmony Korine do a straight up action movie. This was more of a experimental movie, and it was kind of, you know, gimmicky with the infrared camera and the AI stuff. But if he did like a straight up action movie set in Miami, that would be absolutely fantastic. I know he was gonna do an action movie before like a serious, like gritty crime drama before he did Beach Bum, but it fell through, and then he just like wound up doing Beach Bum. But if he did like a straight up action movie, that's, I mean, of course it would be his style, so maybe it would be like a little bit weird, but I mean, this was super experimental. If he didn't do an action movie that was like too experimental, if he just did one that was more, a little bit more formulaic, I think that would be awesome. Like Beach Bum was kind of a comedy, and that was his like first foray into doing a comedy. And then this was kind of his first foray into doing action. Like if he kind of dabbled with other genres, like I thought Beach Bum was a great comedy. And the action elements in this were good. Like I would love to see him do a full-fledged action movie. And then my last point is, this movie I thought was cool. It was unique. It was interesting. And there was also this music video that his company Edgelord put out, and it was for Young Lean and Blade, and I'm fans of those guys. Like Young Lean, I used to be like obsessed with him, but I like own some of his albums on CD, like the album Stranger. I own that on CD, so like Young Lean, I'm a pretty big fan of. So yeah. Harmony Korine's company Edgelord put out a music video for the Young Lean and Blade. They put out this song recently called 1 Second, and it's not like that great of a song, but Edgelord, Harmony Korine's company, did the music video for that song, and the music video was awesome. So Edgelord's putting out music videos. They put out Aggro Dr1ft. They're putting out films. And Harmony Korine wants to get into video games, which would be awesome. I would for sure buy a Harmony Korine video game. So I'm excited for what Harmony Korine's new company Edgelord has in store. I'm excited for music videos, films, hopefully video games, products, whatever. So I don't know. I think it's like a cool timeline right now. We're getting new Harmony Korine content, and it's like still experimental as ever, wacky, wild as ever. So yeah, I'm excited for what Harmony Korine's new company Edgelord has in store in the future. So yeah, exciting times, exciting time to be alive. So now I'm going to get into my recommendation. Okay, so if you're, I feel like most people watching this video, like if you're gonna click on a video for Aggro Dr1ft, you're probably already a pretty big Harmony Korine fan, because this is kind of like a niche movie. This is not like widely publicized, So like if you're clicking on this, you're most likely a Harmony Korine fan, or you're just like curious, like what movie is this? Or this is just like being, I don't know, pushed to you by the YouTube algorithm. I don't know, but I think this movie, like, only drop $15.99 on this movie if, like me, you're like a huge Harmony Korine fan. Like I'm a pretty big Harmony Korine fan. I own most of his movies on DVD, and I follow like everything, or like most like new news with like new movies he's working on. So if you're a huge Harmony Korine fan, I would say go out, buy this, drop $15.99. It's not great. It's very boring at times, and some of the dialogue is annoying. It's not great, but I think this is the type of movie where it's worth watching once, at least once, just for the experience if you're a Harmony Korine fan. But if you're not a huge Harmony Korine fan and you just stumbled on this video, the only way you can really watch this is dropping $15.99. I would say if you're not a huge Harmony Korine fan, then do not watch this. It's not worth the money, because overall most of the movie even though it looks cool and there is some cool stuff, most of the movie is pretty bland besides the last 20 minutes. So, yeah, if you're not like a diehard Harmony Korine fan, skip this. So, yeah, I guess my recommendation is like dependent on how much you're already into the filmography of Harmony Korine. So, there you go. That's been my recommendation, and that has been my review of Aggro Drift. Thank you all very much for watching, and peace out.